African Union's Day is on, and we're still talking about our African culture, how to preserve it. A lot has been said about the youth. We don't even know our heritage. We don't even know where we are from. We don't even know how to dress up as Africans, what to eat, what to do, what not to do. And it seems like we are losing our cultural values. So this young man who set up Visionary Foundation, he says it's about time that the youth are taught what to do and what's not to do. And I've been joined by Scofray Yeboah. He's founder of Visionary Foundation here in Ghana, and also an African historian, Dr. Kwame Osei. Good morning to you, gentlemen, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So I'll start with Doc. Looking at us as the youth, the future leaders of this country and Africa as a whole, on this day, what should we be thinking of?
Thank you for the question. I do believe that the youth need to think about who they are, first and foremost, because many of our youth are very confused.
Are we?
Very confused. We don't know if they are African, if they are Western, if they are European, you know, or is it amalgamation of the two? Because I see a lot of youth around me, and like more often times they can't even speak their own mother tongue, whether it's Tree, you know, Eve, Fantiga. And for me, I think it's diabolical that you can't speak your mother's tongue, you know. And this is part of the cultural imperialism that I believe is going on, that is making our youth lose their identity as Africans and wanting to be something else. Again, you know, that is part and parcel of the system of education. Because in Ghana today, we don't have a system of education that reflects the African personality, that brings out the African identity and the Africanness that has previously been said. The system of education is, one could say, a European system of education. Because as I see around me today, I see British schools, I see American schools with British curricula, American curricula. You know, no African or Ghanaian curricula. Well, you know, what does it mean to be an African? What African history are you studying in school? Many of these young people today don't know anything about African history. Or if they do, it's about slavery, or it's about how Ghana got independence. Not knowing that you were the first person on the earth. God put you there as the first person on the planet. Right? We were building civilizations of high culture like Egypt, Ethiopia. You know, this is even before there was any European on the planet. You know, you look at today, you look at some of the inventions today. The mobile phone, we invented that. Okay, you look at the telephone, we invented the telephone, not the Vodafone. If you look at, you know, traffic lights, we invented it. If you look at even, you know, digital computer, the PC, the internet, was all invented by us. But many of our youth, because they've been miseducated, when you talk about a black man invented the internet, they look at you, I'm not capable of doing the internet. And that's because of the way they've been miseducated, and I use the term miseducated, because they've been miseducated in a way that pertains to them not understanding who they are as Africans, and more importantly, what they've contributed to civilization and culture as a whole. So this is why, on this day, we need to reclaim our identity as Africans, but more importantly also, as a people, we need to appreciate the struggles of our ancestors, our foremothers and forefathers, what they went through. Because if it wasn't for their struggles, you and I wouldn't be here today.
Right.
So this is another significance of why Africa Day is relevant to the youth today.
Interesting comments you were making there about your perception of God and what you think it should be. We'll come to that, but we'll go to founder. After establishing Visionary Foundation, how far have you gone with educating the youth on our African values?
Yeah, for the past 1 year, we've been in operation, and every 2 weeks or fortnight, we hold series of seminars enlightening the youth on who we are as blacks. And as Dr. Riley said, if you don't understand who you are, anybody at all can brand you the way he or she thinks. And as a matter of fact, anything about us blacks have been demonized. Hence, if you are told your father or your forefather developed this mobile phone, you don't believe it, because first of all you have been told that you are a demon, because everything black is connected with evil, and since we are black, we are connected to evil. But that is not the truth. The reality on the ground is the first human being God made is black. And when you say this truth, they find it very difficult to adapt, because since Christianity finds itself in our corridors, the first book we were made to read, the book of My Bible Story, is all pictorial, and the people we see from Adam to Jesus are white, which is a big lie. Which is. And today, if you go to the Jews themselves know the real identity of their forefathers really are blacks.
Okay.
And there are scientific proof and factual proof that yes, life itself began in Africa. So we need to let the youth of today get to know who we are as a people, what we can do, what we have done before, and what we are about to do. And if we stop pumping too much westernized programs, agenda, purpose, and it is their part of design, if Africa is to stand on its legs as Africa, the center of life, I can bet to differ, the world will come begging for what we have. They came and they made us to close our eyes when we are praying, and they siphoned our goals and timber away. So if we don't make
our youth, there?
I wasn't there, but the history is there. The records are there. And why do you
close their eyes?
Oh, come on! That's why you pray and you close your eyes. Why don't you close your eyes when you're driving?
What would you rather do when you're praying? Open your eyes?
If you go to your father asking for something and you close your eyes, would he know what you want?
Isn't it a way of appearing solemn before your Creator?
Because that is how they want you to believe, and you've believed it. In which part of the Bible or Quran that you were told that Christ closed his eyes? So it's about bringing the truth of who we are. There's one thing our president said, that truth can never be hidden.
Okay.
And thanks be to God that today the truth have surfaced. There are white guys out there who are writing books on Africans. What have they come to know? We need to know that technology, the oldest university in the whole world is found in Morocco.
Yeah.
The first school of medicine, the temple of Imhotep, is found in ancient Egypt. So if these are the things we need to let our people understand. And the sad thing is, the way we perceive religion is what is causing us so much downfall. Because the Europeans came to Africa with religion behind its slavery. Okay. If you go to the Limina Castle, where the slaves are kept, up of it, they hold church services.
Okay, I'll come back to you for more. But, Doc, interesting comments you were making before we came on air about who God really is. So, shall we hear that?
Yeah, I mean, as a historian, as someone who studied our history, not just our history, but European and world history, for me, God is black. God is you and I.
Prove it.
Prove it. Well, if you look at the Bible, what is called the Bible, okay, and even that is when I'm in the Bible, I'm talking about the Old Testament, because that was around in time of Yeshua, and I use the term Yeshua, not Jesus, because Jesus is, for me, is a corruption. As a historian, I'm aware of that. Jesus is a corruption. It's Yeshua. The Old Testament was around at the time, and if you look at the Old Testament, okay, the places that are mentioned in the Old Testament are not America, are not Britain, are not France, are not Germany, but places like Ethiopia, or Cush, or Egypt, Mizraim, Canaan, Libya, all these places are in Africa. And if you look at the book of Genesis, it talks about the rivers of the Blue Nile and the White Nile, Pihon and Gihon. These are in Africa. It talks about the land of Havilah, where there is abundance of gold.
So who do you think God is?
God? Well, God is a supreme divine being, and God is a manifestation of you and I. Historians, anthropologists have come to realize that the African was the first person on the planet. Okay, before there was any European, any Indian, any Chinese, you and I were on the planet first. And so it is said that God made man in his image and likeness.
Yeah.
So if the first person on the planet was you and I, what does that say about the Creator? And even in the what is called the Bible, if you look at the book of Revelation 1:14, the revelation of John states that Yeshua, or Jesus, had feet burnt, brass as an oven, and hair like wool. Now, if that doesn't say African or black, then I don't know what is.
Okay.